Hello, and I'm Zoya. Welcome to my Pilates class. Before attempting Pilates, like any structural exercise, make sure you are fit and well, you drink plenty of water, and if in doubt about any of your medical conditions, please consult your GP before attempting any of this. Okay, are you ready? So to do Pilates, you need at least the mat and a thin block, a couple of size blocks. We may be introducing other equipment at later classes as well. So we start with assessing our posture. I'm just going to turn sideways to you so you can see. Your feet, starting from the feet, are hip width apart and parallel. Spread through the toes without gripping. Lengthen through the spine and make sure the inner edges of the feet are parallel. So ground through the heels. And then just to find your center, let's rock a little bit back to front. So smooth and controlled, just small rocking motions until your toes are almost coming off and the heels are almost coming off, just like that. Keep your head on top of your spine and slowly reduce the range of motion and come back to center. Your center is where you can switch the backs and the fronts of the legs off and just stand there with a minimal amount of tension. Your ankles and knees are slightly soft and coming into your pelvis, that should be neutral. I will show you the postures that aren't neutral. So this is your lordotic posture with your tail really sticking out. And this is the other way around, the sway back or the kyphotic posture with the tail really pointing forward and maybe the shoulders rolling in as well. So this is exactly what we're trying to avoid. Come back to center, lengthen out, again both sides of the pelvis even, and then travel up through the spine. Separate the ribs away from the hips. Stand there, and this is where we're coming into the shoulders. So the shoulders are even distance away from the ears. Make sure your head is not tilting side to side. And if you look down at your profile, that should be a plumb line running all the way through from the ears all the way to the heels. This is where we come into the breathing. You're trying to keep this exact posture going, and the breathing in Pilates goes in through the nose and out as through a straw through the mouth. You're trying to breathe into your rib cage. So if you're slightly newer to Pilates, put your fingertips around your ribs and thumbs at the back, just like so, and see if you can breathe in into the rib cage and out. So feel your rib cage expanding and collapsing, and just carry on breathing like that for as long as you possibly can throughout all the exercises. Generally we breathe out, we exhale on effort, and we breathe in to prepare. But if you lose any of that, please don't worry, just continue to breathe. On every inhale, your spine lengthens even more, and on every exhale you draw the belly button in just a little. So this activates your core. Let's talk about the core a little bit. It is a big sling of muscles, the corset of muscles around the back, the sides and the front, and it hugs you in. So just imagine this big white bell just hugging you in a little bit and just releasing a little bit, but it's always kind of there. So keep that core activated, and if you're in doubt and you're thinking, you know what, I'm not entirely sure where that is, pop your hand anywhere around your stomach and just give me a little little cough. And that will tell you where your core muscles are. 2 inches below the belly button, draw that in, and just breathe. So our posture and the breathing is now set. We're going to start the warm-up, starting with the smaller muscles. We're going to inhale, drop the chin to chest, and as you exhale, just roll the head over to one shoulder. Inhale back to center, and exhale, roll the head over. Just shoulders to your sideways. Inhale, chin to chest, and exhale, roll the head round. Trying to maintain your posture. Trying to keep your lower body out of it. So your glutes, your buttocks will really trying to squeeze in to stabilize, trying to stop that from happening. And if it works for you, your progression will be chin to chest and the head all the way around. That again, front on, chin to chest and the head all the way around. Keep changing the direction. And if it is too much, go back to the halves. A couple of those. On the next one, we're going to breathe in, lift the arms up, and as you exhale, you're just going to imagine a giant beach ball in front of you. You're going to round out through the spine, separate the shoulder blades, and hug the beach ball. Inhale here, and as you exhale, palms into the small of your back and open up the chest. So every single warm-up exercise, you do about 6 to 7 times. So inhale here, and exhale, open, and just a couple more in your own time with your own breath. And exhale, open. Coming into the spine moves 4 different ways, and we're going to experience all of them. So this is your lateral flexion again, 6 to 8 repetitions. Inhale, prepare, and exhale, slide. Just keep your fingertips towards your knees, keep the opposite shoulder down, and keep the move really above the waist. So lift the ribs away from the hips, and slide. Fantastic. If you do want to progress this move, you can always lift the arm overhead. Make sure the shoulders relaxed. Inhale and exhale, and really, really watch out. I'm just going to do it the way you shouldn't do it now. So poking the hip out and taking it out to the side. You will really know if this movement has gone wrong because the pressure in your feet will change. 6 to 8 of those. Then move into the spinal twist again. Ribs away from the hips. Inhale as you prepare. Hips stay facing forward. Exhale as you turn. Inhale back to center. Exhale, go the other way. So really think prior to every single move, you're lifting, you're lengthening as much as you can, and then you're turning. Inhale back to center. Exhale, go the other way. Your head moves in line with the spine, so try and avoid just turning the head. The entire body turns as a unit. So this is your rotation. We're now moving into the forward flexion by way of the roll down. So roll down, you try to keep your pelvis still for as long as you possibly can. You start from the top and imagine your spine as a series of building blocks. You're going to drop the chin to chest, relax the shoulders. That's your part one. This is where you take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to slowly roll down. So try to take your spine down, vertical by vertical, to the point that's right for you. It might be halfway, it might be all the way, depending a little bit on how you build. Keep the head and the arms really relaxed. Inhale, grip the belly button to spine, activate your core. As you exhale, slowly uncurl to the top. Your shoulders and your head are the last thing to come up. Let's see this again. So chin to chest, relax the shoulders, that's the in breath. As you exhale, slowly move. Your pelvis is still for as long as you can, and then you tip it over when you have to. Keep strong support through the core. Now here, and exhale and go all the way to the top. Really watch out, just going to do this again one more time. For, first of all, that smooth and controlled articulation. For the fact that your arms and your head are completely relaxed, and that you're not bringing the weight all the way back. So sometimes you see people do this, so your legs are very, very straight. If that's you, soften the knees and bring the weight forward. Just relax. Inhale here, and as you exhale, all the way to the top. So this is your forward flexion. We're going to experience the extension now. So we're going to bring a different move into this. On your next roll down, slowly, 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 with control, you're going to soften the knees. So bend them as much as you need to get down to, you're going to walk out through the hands, and you're going to start in what we call the capital E position. So you're prone down, a prone line, face down. Use a little block to create a little bit of space underneath your forehead. So you've got some breathing space, and arms out to the side in capital E position. So elbows in line with the shoulders. Your toes will fall in, unless your back is actively painful, in which case keep your legs straight, but otherwise toes in, heels out, and relax completely. This is your starting point. Now I'd like you to imagine, keep your head down, I'd like you to imagine that you've got a drawing pin underneath your belly button, so really pull the belly button out of its imprint. Inhale, and on the next out breath, draw the shoulder blades in and lengthen and lift the head and the chest. Inhale, and as you exhale, relax and release. Do that again. So keep the movement just above the waist, lengthen and lift. Inhale, and as you exhale, relax and release. Watch out for the neck position. It will be quite tempting to lift the head, and don't be surprised by how small the move is. If you do want to progress it, and please don't try to do this if you are newer and in week one, once you get to about here, you're going to start pressing through the hands and lengthening a little bit more, and then slowly move all the way down. Keep the alignment through the neck, and really think about using the back first and then pressing into the arms, and maybe eventually your elbows will straighten. You go into the hyper extension on the back. Your glutes will squeeze here. Keep the neck long and relax your glutes, your buttocks, as quickly as you can on the way down. Again, 6 to 8 here, and progress segmentally, slowly. Then we move into the lower body. So you're going to work with the waist down, so keep everything from the waist up completely relaxed. Squeeze the buttock on your right leg. Lengthen and lift it just in line with the hip. Inhale, and as you exhale, relax. Change sides. Now if you're in doubt, just pop your fingertips onto your buttocks and make sure that the buttocks are squeezing prior to the lengthening and the lifting, because very, very often your backs of the legs will take over. So once again, lengthen and lift after the squeeze, and release and relax. Make sure those buttocks do relax, because otherwise you can't squeeze them properly. If this works for you, you're going to combine and move two legs at the same time. So squeeze, lengthen and lift both legs, and lower. If it is too much for your back, please stay with a single leg. Otherwise, tight squeeze, lengthen and lift, and relax. And finally, should you wish to put those two together, this is what your full swan dive will look like. So belly button to spine, still remember about that drawing pin. Squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the buttocks, lengthen and lift both sides of the body. Inhale, and as you exhale, relax and release. Do that again. So tight squeeze, buttocks, shoulders, belly button away from the spine, lengthen and lift and release. So do that 6 to 8 times, but please feel free to stay with just the lower and just the upper body. Once you're finished, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and stretch out through the spine. So round out as much as you possibly can. Keep your back in flexion and just spend a couple of breaths here. Wonderful. From here we're going to take it into the strength move, which is the plank. So there are different variations of plank in Pilates, and the first one, surprisingly, will look just like what you've just done. So you're going to be here in your capital E position, and all you're going to do, which isn't going to be visible for you, you're going to draw the belly button out of its imprint and hold it here for 10 breaths, slow and controlled. In through the nose and out through the mouth. If this is too easy for you, you're going to come with your hands underneath the shoulders and the knees down. So your back is in this lovely ski slope position. Watch out for any buttocks pumping up to the ceiling. Relax the shoulders down and breathe. In through the nose and out through the mouth. 10 breaths, slow and controlled. Keep your neck in line with the spine. And just breathe. If this is again quite easy and you want a little more, lift onto your toes. So one leg and then the other leg again. Keep your hips low. You should be able to feel the response from the core, so you should be able to squeeze that belly button spine at all times. So choose your position wisely. It is 10 breaths, so fairly long time. And if you are in a full position, think about moving your heels towards the back. Again, if you did want to progress this, you have an option with the knees down and elbows underneath your shoulders. This is a little tougher. Again, really watch out for the hips here. Strengthen your back. This is what Pilates is all about. So the previous exercise is all about extension, and this is all about the strength. Or again, if you want a tougher option, here you are in a full plank. Just really think about relaxing those shoulders down. You should be able to talk to me the way I'm talking to you right now. 10 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth in any of those chosen positions, and then you sit back and down. So we're done now with the back. This is your relaxation position. It is called a child's pose. So how you get into it is your toes together, your knees a little wider, and you sit back and down onto your heels. If this is not working for you, your knees or your spine is not liking this, you can always come out into all fours and round out through the spine, exactly the same way we've done before in the cat stretch. Okay, from here we're going to move on to the side exercises. So side lying in Pilates, there are different variations of this, but we're going to start with the block underneath your ear, and if your arm is uncomfortable like this, please have it out here. But if your neck is doing what my neck is doing, i.e. it's too long here, you are going to definitely need a block to just level the sides of the head down. Now your spine is very nice and long, so trying to avoid rolling the shoulders forward, trying to avoid arching through the back. So think about long spine, and then from there just bend the knees, have your knees stacked, have your hips stacked, and the feet directly down from the knees. Inhale as you prepare, and exhale as you open the top knee away from the bottom. Inhale as you lower, exhale, lift. So Keep an eye out on your hips, they should remain stacked, so you try not to take the knee all that high, so you're not looking for that. You're looking for the hips to remain really, really stacked and to feel this in your glutes and in the back. This is called the clam, and it's a fantastic exercise to train the back of your body, your lower body, and of course the knees. Safety wise and stability wise, it just builds the bulk of muscle into the knee. Just about probably 10 to 12 of those, and if you want more, you're going to lift your feet, keeping them together, and you're going to move on from here. Now once we've done this, we're going to move into the arms. So keep the block exactly where it is, but bring the arms forward. Now this is where it is your choice. You can use a thicker block, no block at all, like I'm going to do now, or you can keep the block. And you're going to make sure that your hands meet. So if your hands don't meet, and they are here, means that your shoulders are not stacked. Keep your shoulders on top of one another, and now drop them down and move them away from your body. You're going to try to keep the knees and the hips not moving at all for this one, and this is called the open book. Inhale as you prepare, and exhale as you open. So you're opening as far as you possibly can. Don't push it without moving the hips and the knees, so the movement is just in the upper back. Inhale, prepare, and exhale, open. So Pilates is huge in support of sports, and if you do play tennis, golf, or you're a swimmer, this is a fantastic move for you to do, and you can really feel this progressing. And if this is working okay for you, you can take it into the next level, which is the chalk circle. Same style of movement. Inhale as you prepare, and exhale as you circle the arm all the way around and come back to center. Do a couple each way, probably about 6 or 8. And please don't worry if you can't follow the hand with your eyes, but if you can, do, because it means that your neck is getting involved in this exercise as well. Fantastic also if you have a sedentary lifestyle and you spend a lot of time at the laptop, driving, or any sedentary occupation really. Okay, from here we're going to come onto our backs. So just slowly roll onto your back, bring the head block with you, and make sure that we're now in our what we call the supine neutral position. So your knees are bent, your feet are hip width apart, and we're going to establish the neutral in the spine. So with your lower back, you should be able to fit your fingertips there, but not the entire hand. So that is too much, but if you can't even fit a piece of paper, that's too little. So somewhere in between the two extremes, establish that. Relax the shoulders down, have a gap underneath your neck also, and relax the arms down. We're going to work the front of the core now. So really think about that belly button to spine, and if you're feeling anything in the back, please reduce the level and go back a previous level. Inhale, prepare, and as you exhale, have your right knee over the hip. So this is called the tabletop position. The shin is flat to the floor. Inhale, and as you exhale, squeeze the abdominals and bring the other leg to join in. So we're just going to establish if this is okay for you. You're going to hold it here and breathe, and if this is okay, inhale, lift the arms, and as you exhale, circle them back and round. Just give me maybe 3 or 4 circles. If it's feeling okay, extend the legs out a little bit, but if you started feeling this in the back, bring the knees back in, or indeed pop the one foot back down. This is always an option. Hug the knees into the chest after about 6 or 8. And then we're going to move on to the next exercise. So toe taps. Inhale as you prepare, keep the shape of the leg, and as you exhale, slowly tap down. So really be mindful of keeping the shape of the leg exactly the same. So try and avoid bringing the calf towards the thigh. So really hinge, and think about relaxing the legs as much as you can and really working your lower abdominals. Just like so, probably about 6 or 8 on each side, and then you're going to hug the knees into the chest. From here we're going to move on back to the double leg fold. Remember, you can pop one foot firmly down throughout the entire section here, and you're going to bring the upper body up. So curl up a little, keep the distance between the chin and chest, and keep your neutral going. Extend the arms away from you. Keep the knees over hips and start beating through the arms. So this is your compound exercise, complex exercise called the 100. You're working your upper, your middle and your lower abdominals, the hip flexors and the neck flexors. You are here for 10 breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you want a little more, you can extend the legs away from you. If it is too much, you're going to bring them back, and if it is too much again, you're going to pop one foot down. So 10 breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, and then your upper body's going to come down, your feet are going to come down one by one, and you're going to give yourself a full length body stretch. In through the nose as you stretch, and out through the mouth as you release. Feel your entire body really lengthening out, and release, and just a couple more, and release. Lovely. From here, just bend the knees and roll over onto the opposite side the last time. And you probably do remember the exercises, but we're just going to run through them quickly. This is your position. Remember, if your arm isn't comfortable there, you don't have to keep it there. You can just stretch it out in front of you. Your knees and your hips are stacked. And first of all, we're going to try and establish that the spine is lovely and long and neutral, and the shoulder is back. Inhale as you prepare. Exhale, open the top knee away from the bottom. So you're working on the strength of the knee and the stability in the lower body. Just fantastic all-round exercise to do. And if you want more, your feet are lifted. Exhale and inhale, and exhale and inhale. Fantastic. Once you've done about 10 or 12 of them, you can extend the arm out in front of you, block or no block, and you're going to come down and just make sure that the hands meet, and then the shoulders are moved together and down, so make sure you're not in this closed up position. 2 exercises here for you. Inhale, and as you exhale into the open book, inhale, and as you exhale, come down. Notice how 2 sides are going to be very, very different. So if you're right-handed, probably your right shoulder and the chest is going to be a little tighter, so don't be surprised by slightly reduced range of motion, but really think about keeping your knees and your hips not moving. And as and when you are ready, you're going to move into the chalk circle. Inhale, and as you exhale, circle, and again follow that hand with your eyes, and really watch out for the knees and the hips staying together and the pressure staying exactly the same, which might mean that your range of motion is going to be slightly restricted and maybe only get to here, or indeed here. It doesn't matter as long as you can do that well, and as long as you're breathing. Inhale and exhale. Once you've done those exercises, again slowly roll onto your back. This time round you're not going to use a block underneath your head, and we're going to do this last exercise for you, which is called the shoulder bridge, and it is all about the lumbar, the lower back strength and stability. So bring your feet in a little closer. Depending on the shape of your body, you may or may not be able to tickle the backs of your ankles. And then once again, establish that neutral underneath your head and your lower back. So this nice gap is here. And all we're trying to do to start with is just eliminate it. So you're going to flatten your back, imprint it into the mat, and release. So inhale as you imprint, and exhale as you release. Notice the pressure through your feet. And exhale, and as and when you're ready, inhale, tuck under, and exhale as you peel up and away, slowly, slowly, articulate through the spine. Inhale at the top of the move, which is your top of the shoulders, and exhale as you slowly peeling down bit by bit. So the purpose of this exercise is trying to really separate the vertebra one away from the other. It is fantastic for the quality of sleep, it is fantastic for strengthening the lumbar spine and your lower body, and of course for that mobility through the spine, just like that. Move with the breath. Exhale to the top, inhale here into the back of the rib cage, and as you exhale, slowly come down. Probably about 10 or 12 of those, and then just hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Bring your forehead towards the knees. Just roll up into a little ball and just rock from side to side. So to finish up, we're going to do a couple of stretches. First is going to be the hamstring stretch. So you're going to lower the left foot down. You're going to straighten the right leg. If, like me, you have tight hamstrings, you might want to curl up and grab either the calf or the back of the thigh, but never the back of the knee. And you're going to encourage this leg softly towards you. You may choose to straighten the other leg out. It does help. Probably about 10 or 15 seconds here, and then you're going to come down and change sides. So just like that, soft encouragement, never pull in, and if the leg starts shaking, then it means you're stretching out too hard and you just need to relax it off a little and come back to it. Pop the feet down one by one, take the arms out to the side and drop the knees over to the right and look towards the left. So your shoulders have to be grounded, which means that your knees might not be touching the ground here. A couple of breaths in your torsion. Lovely spinal mobility, and then again squeeze the waist, bring the legs all the way to the top and over to the other side. Breathe, relax, and then just simply carry on rolling towards one side and back onto your mat into the all fours position. Hands on the shoulders, knees on the hips. Keep your spine lovely and long and neutral, and then just round out and arch. So your cat stretch. When you arching, be careful that you're not overarching the lower back. So just think about dropping through the shoulder blades. And when you round, get your head in between the arms and maybe sit a little bit more back and down. And a little bit back to center. So this is very individual. It is your spine. It is your movement. But with this one, you can look forward, but just make sure that your lower back is not overarching. Just a drop between the shoulder blades. Then come back to center, tap the toes under, and we're going to bring you up safely. Just walk the hands towards your knees. Once your knees lift the ground, really engage that belly button to spine. And you're going to straighten the legs, keep micro bending there, and just relax the upper body down. Couple of breaths here, belly button to spine strongly, and as you exhale, you're going to curl all the way to the top, very, very slowly. And then to finish off with, take the arms overhead and give me a 3 lovely full length body stretches. Inhale as you lengthen and exhale as you release. Inhale as you lengthen all the way up, stretch those abdominals and the chest, and just one more, all the way up and all the way down. Roll through the shoulders, establish your perfect posture and carry that posture and that breathing through the rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much.